top story, the tragedy that took place yesterday in Ottawa. Details have been surfacing all throughout the morning, and the outpouring of support still on social media.
That's right. We're going to connect right now with reporter Tom Hayes. He's joining us live just a few, like a block away, I guess, from where this all happened in Ottawa this morning. Tom, good morning. What's the latest in the nation's capital this morning?
Well, good morning, Kyle and Riaz. Let me just show you the scene here behind me right now. You can see the War Memorial. It is still cordoned off at this hour. The police barriers are still up. Some police flashing lights happening right now. Prime Minister Stephen Harper and wife Laureen just dropped by and laid a wreath at the memorial, of course, in respect to what happened here yesterday. In Ottawa today, maybe we're dealing with a new normal, perhaps right across the entire country, as this has affected us. We heard the Prime Minister say last night how Canadians are feeling and that we shouldn't let what happened yesterday influence our Canadian way of life. We are a very lucky people. We have great freedoms, and our institutions are normally places where we can publicly go and feel free and secure. Well, maybe that's changed a little bit today. Since 9/11, we've seen security heightened across our country, and perhaps we're going to see a little more of that going forward.
Tom, you mentioned the idea of security. Let's touch on that point. What do you anticipate will change with security measures for visitors to Parliament Hill, and how does Parliament plan to proceed this morning?
You know, I was speaking with a couple of reporters that were actually inside when the shots were being fired yesterday, and I asked them about that. What was security like? And it's strictly now a method of just showing your identification as you walk in through the front doors, you know, acknowledging the guards there, who know a lot of these reporters by face as well. But that's surely to change going forward. The Sergeant of Arms himself taking down the gunman yesterday shows you just how tight things will become inside the Parliament, and you can expect the security to be heightened. There may be new forms of getting inside this government building, and of course all government buildings right across the country going forward.
Tom, Parliament is scheduled to resume this morning and within the next hour or so. Tell us a bit more about that.
Well, I think it goes back to the message from the Prime Minister last night when he said we will not be intimidated as Canadians. So the show today is business as usual, if you will. We are dealing with a new normal, but Canadians are out here in Ottawa on their way to work. They're waving at us and saying hello as they pass by. There's just a different air here in Ottawa this morning, and now with the House of Commons sitting as it should do, another show of sign that business just goes on.
And Tom, given your time and all the stories you've covered, where does this one stand? You've been there for, what, 24 hours, getting a sense of the international coverage that's been put on our country. What is your sense overall of what this means for Canada and the spirit of our nation?
Well, it's a good question because we're not used to all this attention, and frankly, we don't care for it because this stuff is not supposed to happen on our soil. But it is now. We're part of this international community that can sometimes be a target, and the international community now looking in at Ottawa and Canada specifically. I was sharing a sidewalk with Anderson Cooper from CNN last night. The Americans are all over the story, so is the international media as well. Unfortunately, does not paint a good light on Ottawa and the rest of Canada, but I guess we're just joining the rest of the world in what to expect going forward. So far as an experience as a reporter, you know, I'll go all the way back to Denis Lortie in 1984 when he walked into the National Assembly in Quebec with guns ablazing, killing 3 people and wounding 13 others. It was a time where Canada had to sort of collect itself and then move on. And of course, Marc Lépine walking into École Polytechnique and gunning down 14 young women. Again, the Prime Minister, Mulroney, at the time speaking that it was a national tragedy, but Canada has to move on. And I think it's a similar message that we're hearing here today.
A national tragedy indeed. We'll continue to follow it. Reporter Tom Hayes live in Ottawa this morning. Tom, thank you very much. We'll check in with you a little bit later on today.